The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned. Download the tuning app onto your mobile phone today and catch up on all the latest news from Hitzafrik Radio. Broadcasting live on modern Ghana and our website www.hitzafrikradio.org. Hitzafrik Radio News Hour live. The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned. Download the tuning app onto your mobile phone today and catch up on all the latest news from Hitzafrik Radio. Broadcasting live on modern Ghana and our website www.hitzafrikradio.org. Hitzafrik Radio News Hour live. The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned. Download the tuning app onto your mobile phone today and catch up on all the latest news from Hitzafrik Radio. Broadcasting live on modern Ghana and our website www.hitzafrikradio.org. Hitzafrik Radio News Hour live.
It's a good evening at exactly 7 o'clock GMT 19 hours in the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Now let's do the headlines of tonight's stories. Heavy security presence at some beaches. Chicago police urged to share body cam video. Fake heiress detained. Rambo-style arrest of David Tamaklo. These and many other stories will bring your way this evening. Stay tuned as we fetch you the news in details. My name is Abena Ahwinie. Stay tuned as we do the news in details. National heavy security presence at some beaches in Accra. Police has deployed armed men to guard the country's beaches as part of measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 during the Easter festivities. This follows the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Korte, directing the police and other security personnel to close down all beaches from Adan to the coastal boundary with the central region indefinitely to ensure sustained compliance with all COVID-19 safety protocols, especially during the Easter celebrations. President Akufo-Addo has on several occasions in his address to the nation indicated the need to avoid going to pubs, nightclubs, and especially the beaches, but people will not listen. So in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and the IGP, I am sending a stern warning to all of you. On Friday, Easter holiday, please stay off the beaches. There would be heavy security deployments all the way from Adan to the coastal boundary with the central region, he said. Speaking to Joy News, the Director of Operations of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Kwesi Ofori, noted that the major areas of concern to the Accra Regional Command of Police are the southern beaches in the country. Therefore, the need areas of concern to the Greater Regional Command of Police are the southern beaches in the country. Therefore, the need to guard it to ensure that the President's directive is not flouted by citizens for a quiet Easter to be observed. We have a large and long tract to beaches across the country in the southern and in Accra. We've identified beaches like Kokobite Beach, Bojo, Dansuman, Glife, Mensagini, Independent Square, Nungwa, Teshi, and Sakumono beaches. Also, ASP Peter Kwatin of the Tema Marine Police said they've turned away a number of people who have tried to negotiate their way into the beach premises. We've been here since 6 a.m. You can see Marine Police is here, FPU is here, CTU, Accra Regional Police Command, some personnel are here. La District Police Command, some personnel are here together. We want to ensure that the place is safe, nobody is allowed in. Since we came here, a quite number of people have been here trying to enter with all sorts of explanation that they operate bars and restaurants, so they want to go there. Some people say they want to go and off their lights and other things, but they are aware that there is no beach activity. So we told them to, and some of them go, but some keep explaining, but since no one is there, who are you going to sell to? He said. ASP Kwarton said the police would be on the guard at the beaches till the Easter festivities are over. You know, today is Good Friday and we are here. Tomorrow we'll be here till maybe Tuesday. You know, Easter peak is Monday, where normal times we come here. Churches, groups, clubs, people come here to have fun, but they are aware of the ban. We are also here to ensure nobody comes to have their gathering, he stated. Meanwhile, a public relations officer, PRO, at the La Beach Hotel, Aban Nunu, has appealed to government to relax the ban on the beach's opening, since the beach has requisite measures in place to ensure COVID-19 protocols are adhered to. Moving on to other stories, Rambo-style arrest of David Tamaklo, Warren. A member of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee has condemned what he describes as the Rambo-style arrest of a journalist, David Tamaklo. Roxanne Nelson Defe Amepo, who is also the South Day NP, has appealed to the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to direct that the editor-in-chief of WhatsApp News is admitted to police enquiry bail so he can join his family at Easter. In a statement Friday, he said, if any prima facie determination is made after the Easter festivities, he can't be properly arraigned in court, so he will take steps to defend himself in the matter. This comes after news broke on Thursday that Mr. Tamaklo has been arrested by some unidentified security officials, allegedly from the national security. According to reports, Mr. Tamaklo was arrested in a similar fashion a couple of months ago without justification. Reacting to 8 hours later, the lawyer said the Rambo-style approach of affecting areas of citizens have been a subject for concern to many. It comes as a surprise that nothing seems to be changing in this regard. Mr. Tamaklo was reported to have been picked up at gunpoint sometime yesterday, and particularly on the eve of Good Friday, knowing very well that he would be kept in police custody until after Monday, is most inhuman, unacceptable, backward, and smacks of abuse of police powers. According to him, a colleague lawyer who followed up on the matter at the police station has recounted how the officers were unable to provide any reasons for his arrest. Just none, and yet he has been denied police enquiry liberty. Roxanne Nelson Demefiato said it is important that the security agencies operate on the basis of transparency and with a certain sense of integrity. The image of the security agencies continues to decline over the years following the arbitrary and unexplained arrest of innocent citizens. The MP said the sacrifice of professionalism on the altar of political expediency and making the security a tool for political manipulations would go a long way to hurt us all. The state must not be seen to be expanding its powers in an arbitrary manner. The state, rather than abusing its powers, is expected to protect the rights and liberties of the citizens. The consistent act of picking up individuals without cause must cease now. Rule of law doesn't mean rule of a few. It means acting to accordance with our laws and not in accordance with our whims and caprices. He concluded, Martin Luther King cautioned that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice anywhere. Let us be guided. Moving on to other stories, LGBTQI is an abomination that won't be accepted in Ghana. Speaker of Parliament Alban Badmin says lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and intersex practices are an abomination to Ghanaian culture. As such, they will not be accepted in the country. This follows a statement made by the Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Gregory Andrews, indicating that the attempt by Ghana's parliament to enact or pass legislation to discriminate against the rights of the LGBTQI community and any form of advocacy would be disappointing. Mr. Andrews stated that Ghanaian culture needs to accept people for who they are by respecting their rights without causing any harm to people indulging in the act. Joy News or Adum News do not take a legislation to infringe the rights of LGBTQI, Gregory Andrews. Paying a courtesy call on the Speaker of Parliament on Thursday, he said, "We believe that to protect human rights, sometimes our culture needs to adapt, and that doesn't mean being a different culture. It means accepting people for who they are, especially when they need to adapt, and that doesn't mean being a different culture." That is why on the LGBTQI issues, Australia will rarely encourage Ghana's parliament not to pass legislation that will discriminate the LGBTQI community or remove their rights or to make it illegal for people to advocate for their human rights. However, he noted that the House will not legalize homosexuality. According to him, LGBTQI practices are contrary to the customs of Ghana, therefore will not be accepted in the country. I want to assure you that we have a very good constitution. Our laws abolish any forms of discrimination. We also have the decision of the European Court on Human Rights to guide us in whatever we do. And so on the issue of LGBTQI, definitely we already have a legal framework within which to work. We will not legalize to infringe on the human rights of people, but we will legalize to ensure that culture and traditions are not violated. This is something that we see as an abomination. It is something that we abhor, and therefore we will continue to go according to their culture, he told the Australia High Commissioner. In other stories, social media rally supports for lady diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Social media users have started a campaign to support the treatment of 29-year-old woman Irama Asaritechi Dankwa Akpreku. The Cape Coast-based woman was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011. Her situation has worsened over the years, causing the restricted movement of limbs, and arms, coupled with weaknesses and severe joint pains. My name is Ira Amatechi Dankwa. I am 29 years and an absent, a yellow and completed in 2009. I live in Cape Coast. Please, had this strange illness called multiple sclerosis in 2011 and has become severe of late that has made movements of my lips. Several Ghanaians have joined the appeal for funds targeted to raise $50,000 needed for her surgery, medical bills, and other therapies. The GoFundMe account and the mobile money number has been created to garner contributions from sympathizers. Moving on to other African countries, in Ivory Coast, my father's legacy is the enamicity of Africa. Marie Patrice Gbagbo, daughter of former Ivorian President Kadao Laurent Gbagbo, has praised her father to be a man of principle and discipline. In an interview on Joy FM's Super Morning Show Friday, she stated that the works of her father contributed immensely to the emancipation of Africa. According to her, former President Gbagbo upheld the Constitution of Côte d'Ivoire and did everything within his power to protect it. In the nutshell, my father's legacy will be the emancipation of Côte d'Ivoire and the emancipation of Africa. He was knowledgeable of the laws, upholding the laws and constitution. He used to say any country is free to write its laws, but once that is done, it is now the duty for people to uphold the law. He wanted the Ivorian people and Africans to be able to write their laws and live by them. Ms. Gbagbo told host Benjamin Akatbo. Former President Laurent Gbagbo was the president of Côte d'Ivoire from 2000 until his arrest in April 2011. His arrest came 4 months after refusing to step down from office after losing the 2010 general elections. Ms. Gbagbo further added that she will not be follow for her father's footsteps. She said, although her brother has chemistry for politics, she, on the other hand, wants to live her life devoid of any politicking. Moving on to other countries, in Niger, Niger was in Mohamed Bazoum as president. Mohamed Bazoum has taken the oath of office as president in Niger Republic. The swearing-in ceremony was held at the Mahatma Gandhi Conference Center in Niamey Friday afternoon. It comes despite a failed coup earlier this week. This is Niger's first democratic transition of power since independence from France to 1960. Outgoing President Mahamadou Issoufou, who stepped down after 2 5-year terms, handed power over to Mohamed Bazoum. Bazoum, the 61-year-old former interior minister, had been the right-hand man to Issoufou. A coup attempt failed on Tuesday night after a military unit tried to seize the presidential palace. The assailants from a coup attempt failed on Tuesday night after a military unit tried to seize the presidential palace. The assailants from a nearby air base were reported to have fled after the presidential guard met their attack with heavy shelling and gunfire. Government spokesman Abdulrahman Zakaria said several people had been arrested while others are still being sought, but that the situation was under control. The government condemns this cowardly and retrogressive act that aims to endanger democracy and the rule of law of which our country is resolutely committed. He told a news conference, Niger has witnessed 4 military coups since independence. On Wednesday, outgoing President Mahamadou Issoufou presided over the swearing-in ceremony of new 2 members of the Constitutional Court and bid farewell to their presidential staff. It was the Constitutional Court that validated the runoff election results in February, which declared Mohamed Bazoum winner over rival Mohamed Ousmane. Ousmane is still contesting the results, and on 22nd March, he called on the opposition not to sit in the National Assembly and on the army to disregard orders from an illegal and illegitimate authority. Mohamed Ousmane, a former president, has refused to concede and instead taken his case to the court, sparking mass supporter protests that have been since been quelled. It remains to be seen if his call or his rejection of the election results has any impact in the attempted coup. Moving on to other stories, in Namibia, oil drill threatens Namibia's unspoiled landscape. Villagers living near the Okovano Delta have won their livelihoods that are risked after Canadian company Econ Africa bought licenses of the Namibian government to conduct exploration oil drilling across the country and Botswana. The company, according to British broadcaster Sky News, believes the area could contain one of the world's biggest oil fields, and uncovering it could completely transform the country and potentially make it one of the wealthiest in the world. The oil is, though, to be situated specifically in the Kavana Basin, a large area which covers most of Namibia and Botswana, but also Angola, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Parts of the basin are also home to some of the world's most beautiful unspoiled landscapes. A vast array of exotic plants to drill for oil have not gone down well with environmentalists. Econ Africa could expand the number of oil drilling sites in the area and build vast infrastructure to support their plans if their belief about the size of the oil field turn out to be true. Moving on to another African country is Guinea. New Ebola case reported in Guinea in nearly a month. A health worker wearing protective gear is sprayed with disinfectant at the Nongo Ebola Treatment Center in Conakry, Guinea, on August 21, 2025. Guinea on Thursday reported its first new case of Ebola virus in almost a month, according to the World Health Organization. Saddened to hear of the Ebola case reported in Guinea, after 27 days without a new confirmed case, we remain on the high alert, supporting Guinea Health Authority surveillance efforts and preparedness in neighboring areas, the WHO African Director, Matshidiso Moeti, said on Twitter. This is the first case since March 4th, bringing the total number of reported cases to 19, including 19 registered deaths. The last death was registered on March 24th. Guinea, along with other countries that were impacted by Ebola, like DR Congo, has started the immunization process against the virus. More than 3,200 people, including 529 contacts, have been vaccinated as part of the campaign. More than 1,600 people, including contacts of cases, their contacts, and health workers, have been vaccinated so far, according to the WHO. The epidemic has claimed over 11,300 lives in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone between 2013 and 2016. Ebola causes severe fever and, in the worst cases, unstoppable bleeding. It is transmitted through close contact with bodily fluids, and people who live with the care for patients are most at risk. This is where we end the news for Africa. Stay tuned for the world news.
The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned.
You're still logged on to Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We're also transmitting live on our website, www.hitzafrikradio.org. Now let's do some world news. Dozens killed as train crashes and derails in tunnel. At least 50 people have been killed and dozens more injured after a train carrying nearly 500 crashed and then derailed in a tunnel in Taiwan. The 8-carriage train reportedly hit a construction vehicle that had split into the tracks and the tunnel's mouth. Rescuers combed badly damaged carriages inside the tunnel to find survivors, some of whom smashed windows to flee. The train from the capital Taipei to Taitang was carrying people traveling from a long weekend annual holiday. Many people have been standing because of the train was so full. The 408th train is one of the fastest deployed on the network that is generally considered safe. It can reach speeds of 130 kilometers per hour, 80 megapascals. Friday's crash in Taiwan worst rail disaster in decades. President Chai Ing-wen has sent her condolences to the families of the victims and ordered an investigation. The latest report from the National Fire Agency says 494 people were on the train and 50 dead and 66 injured and taken to hospital. The crash took place at about 9 o'clock GMT, 1 o'clock GMT. Some people at the back of the train were able to walk away unscathed, while 100 were rescued from the first 4 carriages. Many of the dead, injured, and trapped were in 4 crumpled carriages inside the tunnel. It felt like there was a sudden violent jolt, and I found myself falling to the floor, one female survivor told Taiwan UDN. I felt like there was a sudden violent jolt, and I felt myself from falling. Another rescued woman said, "My whole body fell to the floor. I hit my head and it started bleeding." A 50-year-old survivor told Apple Daily she saw many people trapped under their seats, and when she walked out of the carriage, she saw bodies everywhere. Local media reports say the train driver is among the dead. Other survivors are being carried away on stretchers with their necks in braces. Taiwan has an impressive transportation network, including more than 1,000 kilometers of road tracks. The train supports transfer more than 200 million passengers each year. The train derailment in 2018 caused by a faulty speed alert system and a driver busy talking to the command center who failed to slow down before entering a curve. 18 people died. A number of deadly fires inside factories that have housed unsafe dormitories for workers. A bridge collapse in 2019 caused the lack of maintenance, which killed 4 migrant fishermen in a boat. A chemical explosion in 2014 caused by neglect of underground pipelines. 32 people died. This latest accident once again raises questions about whether Taiwan is placing enough importance on safety and preventing accidents. Many of those on the train are believed to have been traveling to celebrate the Tomb Sweeping Festival, a time when people pay their respect to the dead by visiting the graves of family members, sprucing them up, and making offerings to their spirits. The island's worst crash in recent history was in 1991, when 30 passengers were killed and 112 injured after 2 trains collided. Moving on to another country, in Russia. Russia has warned NATO against sending any troops to help Ukraine amid reports of a large Russian military build-up on its borders. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia would take additional measures if NATO were to make such a move. Sporadic, low-level clashes continued in eastern Ukraine between Ukraine troops and Russian-backed separatists. U.S. forces in Europe are now on higher alert, citing escalations of Russian aggression in the area. A NATO official told Reuters news agency that Russia was undermining efforts to reduce tensions in eastern Ukraine, and NATO ambassadors had met on Thursday to discuss the situation. Allies shared their concerns about Russia's recent large-scale military activities in and around Ukraine. The official said Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky joined the criticism, saying military exercises and possible provocations along the border are traditional Russian games. Meanwhile, Mr. Peskov accused Ukrainian forces of staging provocations on the front line in eastern Ukraine, where a fragile ceasefire is violated daily. In the worst flare-up in recent months, 4 Ukrainian soldiers died in separatist shelling on 26th of March near Shuma, a village in the Donetsk region. There had been only low-level incidents since then. Last month, Russia conducted military exercises in Crimea. The Black Sea Peninsula is annexed from Ukraine in March 2014. The rebels in the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine also rely on Russian help. Western governments say Russia has deployed regular troops there, along with heavy weapons. That is denied by the Kremlin, which says Russian volunteers are helping and rebels who seized the swath of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions in April 2014. Unverified video on Twitter in recent days purports to show Russian tanks, artillery, and armored vehicles heading to the Ukraine border. Ukraine's army commander Gen Russian Komchak says Russia has deployed 28 battalion tactical groups near Ukraine's eastern border and in Crimea, which would amount to 20,000 to 25,000 troops. Russian officials have not confirmed that, nor given any precise figures. According to Gen Chomchak, Russia also has nearly 3,000 officers and military instructors at the rebel units in eastern Ukraine. The Russian Federation moves its armed forces within its territory at its discretion. Kremlin spokesman Mr. Peskov said. He added that it should not worry anyone and does not pose a threat to anyone. The Russian military has confirmed that Airborne Assault Brigade, about 4,000 troops, is being deployed in Crimea from Volgograd in southern Russia this year. In 2014, Russia has considerably beefed up its military presence in Crimea, including its key Sevastopol naval base. Moving on to another country is the US. Anna Sorokin, fake heiress detained by US immigration. Anna Sorokin, who created a fake persona as Anna Delvey, was taken into custody on 25th of March. The 30-year-old is facing deportation in her native Germany after her release from prison in February. She was found guilty in April 2020 of stealing from banks and hotels, having scammed more than $200,000, £153,580. A spokesman for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agency told the BBC that Sorokin was being held at a county jail in the state of New Jersey. No more details were given. Sorokin, a German citizen, has overstayed her US visa, the agency told the Insider website. Fake German heiress Anna Sorokin is led away by the being sentenced to Manhattan Supreme Court on the 9th of May 2019, following her conviction last month on multiple counts of grand indecency and theft of services. Sorokin reported to immigration authorities in New York on 25th of March and was due to be deported in Germany a day later, but has remained in the US, the New York Post newspaper reported. It is clear if Sorokin is challenging her deportation. Lawyers for Sorokin did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Friday. In February, one of the lawyers, Todd Spodek, told the BBC he expected Sorokin to be deported to Germany in due course. During her trial, prosecutors told how Sorokin, under the assumed name of Anna Delvey, pretended she was worth about $60 million with a trust fund in Europe. Maintaining the scam for several years, Sorokin used two phony persona to facilitate a luxury lifestyle. Prosecutors said she used forged financial documents to maintain the comrade and even managed to get $100,000 overdraft loan from one bank. Her lawyer, Mrs. Spodek, urged in court that Sorokin had tried to fake it until she could make it. Untimely, Sorokin was found guilty of 8 counts and acquitted of 2 others. She was sentenced to between 4 and 12 years in prison, but released on parole in February this year. Her story came to international attention in 2018 after a hit New York Magazine feature by writer Jessica Pressler. Since her release from prison, Sorokin has been capitalizing on the infamy she gained during her trial. Buoyed by media interest in her story, she has been given interviews, exploring business ventures, and lining up TV projects. Sorokin was paid $320,000, £230,000 by Netflix for her life story. Some of those funds were used to pay back banks she defrauded. In an interview with the BBC last month, Sorokin was asked if crime pays. In a way, it's dead, she replied. Moving on to another country is Chicago. Chicago police urged to share body cam video in fatal shooting of boy 13. A 13-year-old boy has been shot dead by police in Chicago in what officials said was an armed confrontation, leading to calls for footage of the incident to be released. Adam Toledo was killed after officers were alerted to gunshots in the city's Little Village area in the early hours of Monday, police said. His identity was revealed on Thursday. Shortly after 2 o'clock local time, 7 o'clock GMT on Monday, officers were deployed to the Little Village area in Chicago's west side following an alert of multiple gunshots, which they received via a detection system known as ShotSpotter, the Chicago Police Department said. When they arrived, the officers observed two objects in an alley who then attempted to flee the area, causing the officers to pursue them, department spokesperson Tom Ahern said. One man, 21-year-old Ruben Roman, was detained, but the other individual, Adam Toledo, was fatally shot in the chest, police said. A handgun was recovered at the scene, they added. Adam's mother, Elizabeth Toledo, told the Chicago Sun-Times that her son wanted to be a cook when he grew up, adding, the next thing you know, a cook took his life. In a statement on Thursday, Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown called for the release of any and all video, including body-worn camera footage related to the incident, was permitted by laws pertaining to juveniles. The specifics of the incident, including the comprehensive use of force investigations, are being investigated by COPA, the Civilian Office of Public Accountability, he said. Superintendent Brown expressed his condolences to the family and said the officer included the incident had been placed on administrative leave for 30 days. COPA confirmed that it was investigating the shooting, which it said had been captured by police body camera. It added, however, that it was not permitted to release the footage without a court order because a minor was involved. COPA has been in contact with the Toledo family and will provide the family a review of all video materials, he added. Here lies the end of the foreign story. Stay tuned as I fetch you the entertainment news.
The News Hour, coming to you live from the studios of Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Stay tuned.
You're still logged on to Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We are also transmitting on our website at www.hitzafrikradio.org. Now let's do some entertainment news. UO wished Kwaukase fumes at SAP natives after Sarkodie rejected his collab. Ghanaian rapper Kwaukase isn't happy with the trolling that is coming his way after Sarkodie turned down his request to feature on his latest song. Kwaukase Yakubu featuring Sarkodie, Esi Otoni Generation. The Maritime Entertainment label fourth man received the shock of his life today when he asked his former last two label mates to jump on his latest song titled Cash Up featuring Skonti. A few days after the song was released, Sarkodie shared on his Twitter page, Responding to Sarkodie's gesture, Kwao asked him to remix the song. Allah Killer remix Anna. Kwao quoted Sarkodie's tweet, but Sarkodie smartly rejected his request, saying the song is dope. Which means there is no need to remix it. Boss, abego, it's dope as a day. Wicked tune, Sarkodie responded. But Kwao fired back at Sarkodie fans, who trolled him after the rejection, saying, "You all wish. Hey, Ghana, still la cash up. Sa untia siada." In January this year, Kwao jabbed Sarkodie for refusing to pick his course and asking him to go through protocols to order to reach out to him. One of the biggest fans, but the thing is the love I show him. He doesn't show it back. I feel there are some people you don't have to go through anyone to get to, he told OKFM. Sometimes you have to get through Angel. Sometimes no response, and it also takes a long time for him to reply. Even if you are busy, reply and say you are busy or get back later. But Sarkodie won't do that, he added. Since bashing him, Sarkodie has refused to directly react to the issue. Moving on to another story. Don't trust people obsessed with money. Manifest Easter message. Ghanaian hip-hop musicians Manifest has issued the Good Friday celebration to remind people about how Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus Christ for money. According to the Samway beat rapper, today should serve as a reminder to all not to put their trust in people who are obsessed with money. Today is a reminder. Meanwhile, he has praised Asaka Drill Boys, saying it has revitalized hip-hop music in Ghana. He said the Ghanaian media has peddled false narratives about hip-hop, adding that drill has been accepted in Ghana ages ago. Catching up on Ghana music released in the last couple of months, it's wild how Asaka has revitalized hip-hop in Ghana. In the era of Afrobeat music, biggest African playlist, Africa Now has more Ghana hip-hop songs on it than any other genre from here. There is a lesson. A lot of false narratives about hip-hop in Ghana mostly peddled by media. The main ones, will Ghanaians accept it? Is that route profitable? Can it be mainstream? What was hip life? The thing was accepted ages ago. Different branding, Keke, Kenya, Obrafo, Reggie, etc. He tweeted. Moving on to another story. This is powerful. Stone Boy impressed by Bisakida's rendition of Sobolo. Ghanaian Afro dance star Stone Boy has described High Life star Bisakida's rendition of his hit song Sobolo as powerful. Stoneboy, impressed by Bisakida's rendition of Sobolo's song. On Friday, 2nd April, Bisakida shared a video of himself freestyling to the 2020 hit High Life song and immediately caught the attention of Stoneboy, who said this is powerful. Aside from praising Bisakida's version, Stoneboy also asked if he did well with his Tree accent on the original song and promised to send him the full lyrics. This is powerful. I hope I try it with the Tree. Lo, I will send you full lyrics. Stoneboy, who is currently in London for a business trip, described Bisakida's rendition, which is nearly 1 minute. The High Life song, which got its inspiration from late Dr. Papa Bobo hit song Asobreche, is one of the hottest songs which drove music lovers crazy in 2020. The song won the High Life Song of the Year at the just ended 3 Music Awards. Stoneboy beat Akwabua's Gangsta Lovin' and Postime, Kofi Kinata's Behind the Scenes, Kumi Guitar's Sex, Sister Fear's Party featuring Familia, King Jerry Sankofa and Lord Pepe's Asaboni featuring Bosom Young to pick their accolades. Here lies the end of tonight's story. Stay tuned as I fetch you the recap of tonight's news. You're still logged on to Hitzafrik Radio and TV. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Hitzafrik Radio and TV. Now the recap of tonight's headlines. Heavy security presence at some beaches. Chicago police act to share body cam video. Fake hirers detained. Rambo-styled arrest of David Tamaklo. These and many other stories were brought your way this evening. My name is Abena Ahwinie. Enjoy your weekend and have a good evening.